Being a veteran is a great honor.
I'm thankful for America, given the opportunity that I got to serve my country.
After boot camp, I got my orders that I was going to, I believe it was Bahrain. I had no idea what Bahrain was. Everybody else was going to some coastal cities that you knew about. And so I was a little bit concerned about that. I was actually going to the Gulf.
The Vietnam War, and it went on, they called it the 10,000 Day War. I recall watching the TV and you would see all these, terrific, or just horrific pictures of the guys dying, and it's just every day, all day long, it seemed like every time you turned the TV on and you just had that thought in your mind, you're like, wow, how long is this going to go on? And I'm getting a little bit older, is it going to affect me? And so I always had the point in my mind, I was like, I don't think I want to do that.
But he did, serving his country for 20 years of active duty, including a time of service in the deserts of the Persian Gulf.
We knew nothing about Iraq. It was very limited on our intelligence. We didn't have people on the ground there. What was limited was what they did between the Iraq and Iran war.
That war lasted for nearly a decade. By 1990, the Iraq Army was considered the fourth largest army in the world, and they were once again on the move.
August of 1990, Saddam Hussein took it upon himself to invade Kuwait. He always felt that Kuwait belonged to him.
They flew me across the ocean, and I landed in Saudi Arabia. And there, it was at nighttime. The airport was completely black. We were met by soldiers who told us not to say a word.
The 82nd's mission is to go anywhere in the world in 18 hours. So we were the first ones on the ground there, and we secured the southern area of the port so they could start bringing in the heavier divisions and heavier equipment through the ships and the aircraft.
Within the next 5 months, Operation Desert Shield amassed a coalition force from around the world that stood ready to oust the invading force from Kuwait. The United States Navy had a tremendous presence in the Gulf, which included the USS Robert G. Bradley.
The ship was a fast frigate guided missile, FFG-49. Our job, if some missiles were being fired at aircraft carriers, we were to step in the way and save that ship. Much of my job was to observe. We did forward and aft lookouts, and to make sure that we weren't having an attack on the ship, that something like a jammed radar could possibly bring a ship close to us or an airplane.
I ask only that all of you stop what you were doing and say a prayer for all the coalition forces, and especially for our men and women in uniform who this very moment are risking their lives for their country and for all of us. May God bless and protect each and every one of them, and may God bless the United States of America.
On January 17, 1991, the air war of Operation Desert Storm begins. Coalition forces bombarded Iraqi targets day in and day out. It was a new era for American warfare as the world was introduced to precision-guided bombing. Folks at home got used to the term smart bomb.
We were leaps and bounds, like say, just from Vietnam. It was nothing comparable to that type of war with the equipment that we had.
After 40 days of bombing, the ground war began.
I want to say right around Valentine's Day. I guess we wanted to give them a Valentine's present, so to speak. But 82nd Airborne Division is where I was during the Persian Gulf War. I was a cavalry scout. And just like in the Wild West, I was the eyes and ears of the commander, just like it went all the way back to the early days of the Indian Wars, the cavalry heritage. Basically, we provide reconnaissance, security, and surveillance on the battlefield. our idea, or the idea of the commander, is find the enemy and fix him. We'd locate him, call in artillery, call in the heavy assets, and eliminate the problem, so to speak. They put us on the furthest west flank, or the left side, along with the 101st, because we were both light infantry divisions. We could move rapidly. All the heavier assets actually went into Kuwait. Our main objective was to let nothing back into Baghdad. So as those forces withdrew from Kuwait to the west, attrit them, take them out any way that you can.
It was a big deal in my life. I remember the first time I got on the ship that, the reality that, this is military and you could be killed, you could be injured. You better be sure that you get the training you need to survive.
You train so much, we say the more you sweat in peacetime, the less you'll bleed in battle.
Training proved to be the difference, as the ground war only lasted about 100 hours.
We would, call in artillery on them, basically pummel them that, give them time to respond to that, pummel them again, and as you move forward, then any kind of, approach to them, they start giving themselves up. I don't speak Iraqi, but evidently machine gun's a pretty good interpreter, because you fire off a burst, they understand that, and at that point, they lay down their weapons. It turned into a big POW exercise. We took 18 hours, and it was literally buses of them to come out of there, because they just walked forward, threw the weapons down, and gave up in mass exodus.
On April 6, 1991, Iraq officially accepts ceasefire terms. Kuwait had been liberated, but not without a price. 148 Americans died in battle, with an additional 145 non-combat deaths and 1 missing in action.
I love my wife dearly, brother, and she was the link there. I always knew that if something happened to me, she was going to take care of my girls, but I carried a picture of her in my helmet and the girls and inside my vehicle. I always thought about that. I said, I'll be back for you, I said, I'm coming home. I'm thankful for my family, and God watched over me. And every day that, I still see the flag. If I see one fluttering in the wind, I'll stop and look at it, and the goosebumps run up and down your back.
And today, these men have the same gratitude for those still serving.
I work in an office now. I don't have to be out there in the elements, but somebody is still there doing that. So I appreciate everything that they do and the sacrifices. This is the best place to live on earth.
Happy Veterans Day, and may God bless America.